Welcome to the True Talk Podcast. Here's your host, Jenna.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of True Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Jenna, and it's going to look a little different from where I normally record, but it was a special occasion for this incredible guest sitting to my left.
Oh, wow.
I am still in Maryland. I'm actually, shout out to Hartford Haven Studio in Hartford County, Bel Air. If you guys need any photo shoots done, portraits, if you need a podcast studio rent out, definitely check them out. Put their link in the description below. But today, you guys are in for such an amazing special treat. I am so beyond honored and blessed to be able to sit next to the one and only DJ Quicksilva from 92Q. If anybody in the DMV knows, then they know 92Q.
I'm on both stations, 92Q and 93.9.
There we go. See,
both.
like you can catch him on whichever one you like.
Yep.
But no, I am so excited for today's conversation. You guys are in for such a treat of a conversation. And DJ Quicksilva, welcome to the True Talk Podcast and to the True Crew.
I love the name. I love the True Crew, and I think that's what I'm all about, is trying to stay as truthful as possible.
I love it. All right. So, if you could, can you give our listeners and viewers a little background story about who you are and where did you come from?
I don't know how much time we have. That'll take about 6. That's the whole episode, right?
Let's do the spark notes.
It's crazy because I've already kind of announced this, but I'll announce it again on your podcast. I have a documentary coming out called "Who Is Quicksilva."
Guys,
I've been filming it for
check
years.
that out when it comes out.
This is going to be on a major network.
Congratulations!
I appreciate you. But short story, Quicksilva, born and raised in East Baltimore. My name is Rico Silva, but Quicksilva was my stage name for the last 30 plus years. I'm born and raised in East Baltimore. I've been based out of the DC area for the last 2+ decades. So a lot of people who know me, across the world, they think I'm from DC because I've been doing, radio and clubs and philanthropy and, motivational speaking out of the DC area for so long. But short story, I had a rough childhood. I don't want to say rough. I'll just say it was, I'm a firm believer that, everyone's life is tailor-made for them.
Absolutely.
Whether things good or bad happen in your life, it's happening to teach you something.
Absolutely.
So, I grew up, I was two brothers. I'm the middle child. Unfortunately, at the age of 8, I found out that my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And my mom passed away when I was 10 years old. That's actually the year I started DJing. So my mom never met Quicksilva. She passed before I even became a DJ.
That's not true because she watches
But she
from
watches
above.
me, of course, daily now.
Yeah.
But in the flesh, I wasn't a
Absolutely.
DJ when she passed away. I wanted to be a football star. So I started playing football when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and shout out to Northwood Rams back then.
What position I got?
Even though it might not look like it now, I actually played starting running back and middle linebacker.
Okay.
So a middle linebacker is normally known as the big guy. So when I tell people like, you quick, yeah, I was an animal.
I love it. That's awesome.
But unfortunately, at the age of 10, when my mom passed, like I said, I was in East Baltimore, so I started doing a lot of the wrong things at the wrong time, hanging with the wrong people.
Yeah.
I got shot when I was 13. I got shot when I was 13 years old. I was paralyzed for almost 9 months. Doctor told me I would never walk again. By the grace of God, as you see, that wasn't my plan. So I am still walking on my own. So God's plan was different from whatever man's plan was for me. But I started DJing, like I said, at the age of 10, but doing other wrong things. And after I got shot, I really, really started taking DJing seriously. My dad was really instrumental in my life. He got me my first set of turntables when I was 10 years old for Christmas. So he really was the one that was pushing and motivating me to really, pursue this DJ thing.
Yeah.
Because back then, DJing wasn't considered a real job.
Right.
It was like,
right.
DJ, that's a hobby.
Yeah.
But you got to go to school and find a
real
job.
quote unquote,
Because DJing's not a real job.
Yeah.
I'm glad they listened to those folks, because 30 plus years later, I'm one of the biggest DJs in the world.
Yeah.
But back to my story. Like I said, I started really DJing and taking it seriously. I got my first nightclub gig when I was 14. It's crazy. Like, I've been in nightclubs since I was 14 years old.
That's insane.
I wasn't even old enough to be in the club, but my dad would drop me off at the club, and the guys in the neighborhood would make sure I got home safe.
That's awesome.
In hindsight, I'm thinking about how crazy that looks.
Right.
Just imagine you going to a club and a 14-year-old DJ.
Yeah, but back in the day,
right.
stuff was a little safer.
I don't know. I can't say that. Right.
Never mind.
So fast forward, like I said, from 14 to 18, I really got popular in Baltimore. I was the big DJ in all the high school parties and all the neighborhoods. Everybody knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, at the age of 18, right when I graduated high school, my dad passed. So that really took a toll on me.
Yeah.
That was a turning point in my life where I could have really went left, or I could have went straight.
Yeah.
For a minute, mentally, I definitely went left. I mean, I was out of it because you got an 18-year-old kid from the hood with no mom or no dad. It's easy to do all the wrong stuff because you have no guidance.
Yeah.
You have no one telling you right from wrong. No one.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I really took DJing serious. I always say DJing saved my life, literally.
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't DJing, I know for a fact I would be dead or in jail. Like, I'm positive. The path that I was going, and just some of the mistakes I was making in life as a young kid. But then, fast forward, I started DJing. I started really pursuing my career. And then I remember having, this OG in my neighborhood tell me, when you first start making real money, one of the smartest things you can do is start investing your money.
Right.
And you want to, potentially buy a house. So I bought my first home at 21
wow.
from DJing, right?
Wow.
But don't say wow yet, because my story gets a little worse.
Oh.
But, if you know anything about buying a home, for your listeners, you got a thing called closing, when you got to go close and get your keys.
Right.
So I closed on my house on Tuesday, and I got fired that Friday from my first big radio job.
No.
Everything just kept being thrown at me to get me to stop and quit and give up. But when people ask my key to success, I always say I just don't know how to quit. I don't know how to quit.
I love that.
That was in 2002, and now you look at 20 plus years later, I've won everything from East Coast #1 DJ to 2 Global Spin Awards to DC's #1 the last 20 years to multiple syndicated radio shows to, I toured in the world with some of the biggest artists in the world. I've done everything from DJing on BET 106 in Park. I've done so much in my life, and I always say, my key to success has been simply not to give up. And then if you follow me, my principles have been the same that I preach forever: hard work, dedication, and consistency.
That's
and that's the short story.
incredible.
That's the short story. It's a whole lot more in my life that I've been through. But prayerfully, when the documentary comes out very, very soon, I'll let you know first so you can announce it. But when that happens, a lot of people who've been supporters of mine, I never use the word fans. A lot of people have been supporters of mine for the last 30 years. They're going to be like, wow, I had no idea this guy's been through so much.
Yeah.
But, to whom much is given, much is required.
And I'm just at a loss for words right now because that story is such an incredible, amazing testament to your drive, your beliefs, your faith.
Absolutely.
That you just never gave up on God's plan, no matter how many times that who down below tried to stop you and tried to put a barrier up and tell you, oh, the easier way is going this way. You were like, no, it's not. I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to be, and I'm going to change lives. And that's what you're doing.
I think that's what's crazy about my life now, and kind of how, we met from you following my vitamins and stuff like that, is that I never sought out to be this inspirational guy.
Right.
Like that, I never, I didn't go to school for inspirational speaking or any of that.
Right.
But over the last, I'm going to say 15 years or so, I've really turned into a motivational speaker to the point I get booked, paid bookings to come to colleges, to go to businesses, to talk to the employees, just to motivate the employees and give them hope, and go to colleges to motivate people. And I always say that's just a natural gift.
Yeah.
And when I motivate people, even to my vitamin of the days that are very popular on social media, believe it or not, I've never written down a vitamin in my life. So I've never written down one. I don't rehearse them. I literally
It just comes to you.
So I've been doing vitamins every day on the Quicksilva radio show for 20 years, and I've never written one down ever in life.
That is so cool.
I just kind of
Fun
close my
fact,
eyes.
guys.
I kind of just close my eyes, and right before my producer says, "All right, go," I'm like, and then whenever comes out, comes out.
Guys, if you aren't already, I'm putting, obviously, everything always gets linked in the show notes and in the description. But Quick always posts a vitamin of the day. And no joke, it's exactly what you need to hear or what you are thinking. I love the vitamins of the day.
Thank you.
I love those posts.
I appreciate
because
you.
it's like it's the vitamin of the day. It's the perfect way to start the morning.
You need that.
You know what I mean?
You
need that motivation and that little kick to be like, listen, don't sit here and worry about what everybody else is doing.
At all.
You focus on you. Put your blinders on. Focus on you.
That was literally my vitamin today. And my vitamin
Yeah,
today
wasn't it today?
It was something similar to, and once again, I can't remember exactly what I
it's
said
not
because I didn't
written
write it down. But I remember I said something to the fact, and just so you know how my vitamins come about, it's always about something I've been through in my life or something I've helped somebody else get through in their life. Or me and you might have been having a conversation about something, and I'm like, wow, I'm going to use that for a vitamin.
Yeah.
And then I'll just, the next morning I wake up, good morning, do my radio show, and then the vitamin comes out. But the vitamin was something to the effect of the reason why you haven't achieved your full potential is because you're too focused on them.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
but a lot
that's
of people,
what it was.
like, that's a lot of people literally wake up every day, and the first thing they do is pick up their phone, they start scrolling.
Yep.
And then they figure out all the thems and the days of the world. The people that don't really matter. You know, obviously, these people don't matter in real life. That's my hashtag.
Right.
But, you know, so many people, they spend all their time, all their energy, all their money, all their everything on worrying about everything else. And worrying about what everybody thinks. And worrying about how can I please everybody else. And how can I make everybody like me and all these things. But you never spend that time or energy or money or anything investing in yourself.
Right.
If you take 24 hours, I always say, if you do anything long enough, you become great at it, right?
Yep.
If you spend 100% of your energy on anything for 30 days, it will work.
Yeah.
Most people just don't spend 100% of it. They do it when it's convenient.
Right.
They're not consistent.
Right. And that's one of your keys is consistency. Yep. And that just made me think about what I've talked about on the podcast before as well. Like I told you, I'm Greek. The Greek community is very large. I absolutely am so proud.
I've never been to Greece. I need to go.
Oh, you got to go. And when you go, let me know.
Let me know.
And we'll go.
If you're watching, whoever the big promoter or owner is, that book me. I'll come DJ in Greece.
Yeah, guys, we're going to have to get on that.
Let's make it happen. I got you.
So I'm so proud to be Greek. 110%, I say.
Were you born there?
No, I was born here.
Okay, nice.
I was born and raised here, but go back every summer.
Nice.
But you know, that's my whole being. That's my culture. I embrace it. I love it. I speak it. I dance it. You name it.
Nice.
But one of the things I've spoken about before, and those who know will be able to relate, and similar in some other cultures, is that it's always, what is everybody else going to say? What is everyone else going to think? And that was something when I first started going through my symptoms and what I was battling with. You know, my family was like, all right, keep it hush hush. It's going to stay in the house. Like, this is a family problem. And after going through, you know, some dark times of depression and stuff like that, I'm like, if I'm feeling this way, and I think it was a mixture from side effects from the medicine, but also the situation as a whole, I'm like, if I'm feeling this way, I can only imagine what other people are feeling. Right. And I can't keep quiet. Right. I need to get my story out there, get my voice out there. Exactly. So I love that you say that too. You know, don't worry about what anybody else is going to say or what they're going to think.
Another fun fact or vitamin of the day, if you want to call it. Most people don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Most people, most if not all, don't have life figured out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, you're trying to impress somebody or trying to get somebody to believe something, and they don't even know what they want to believe.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by people spend too much energy on the wrong thing, on the wrong people, is because, this person that you're trying to hide something from, this person that you're trying to one up or whatever, most of them aren't even generally happy with themselves.
Right.
So if you're spending too much time worrying about what they might think or worrying about how they might react,
Yeah.
you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, that person, if you ask them generally, "Hey, are you happy?" Most people answer, "Yeah, sure, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But no, you really happy. And if they have to really think about it, they be like, "Damn, I'm really not. Like, I'm really not."
Yeah.
And now that's the person that you think in your mind has it better than you.
Yeah.
And, right.
Well, then isn't it also like you're essentially wasting time?
Absolutely. Time is the one thing you can't get back. Money you can always make back.
Exactly.
Anything else you can always get back. This second we're talking right now, it's gone and it's never coming back. Ever.
Exactly.
Unless you pause and rewind it.
See, now that's crazy to me. Sometimes I'll think about that and I'll be like, oh, shoot. Like,
Right.
that's weird to think about,
so
right?
5 seconds ago it's gone. Like
it like mind
you
blows
really
me
think about it
sometimes.
right now. If we're 30 seconds in, 31 seconds ago, that's now history.
I know, and that's just so like mind blowing. It's like funny, but it's so true.
But when you think about it, it makes you realize, why are we wasting time?
Yeah.
On the wrong things.
Yes.
Ask yourself that. Most people don't.
Yeah. I mean, and that was another thing that I always knew along my journey in life.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that time is so precious, it's so valuable. And life is so short, but it's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
But it did not really, really hit until I went through everything.
That's how it is.
I was just like, wow, I don't want to take any second for granted. I don't care who's gonna sit here and say, you shouldn't do it, or maybe think of something else, think of something more practical.
You know what I call those people? I call them they.
They.
I always say, never listen to they.
Yeah.
Because the they is that, well, they said you should do this. And they said,
yeah.
I've never listened to they.
Yeah.
If I've listened to they, I would not be Quicksilva today. I don't know what I would be. Because they have told me 100 times why this won't work.
Yeah.
They have told me that I won't last.
Yeah.
They have told me that I've heard so much they, but the fact that I've never bought into it is why every year, it hasn't been 1 year in the last 30 that I haven't done this.
Yeah.
In life, in career, in business. Because every year I'm trying to make myself better. I'm trying to recreate something. I'm trying to recreate a moment. And that's because I simply don't listen to they.
And it's also, it's like that mantra that I love. It's you versus you.
Absolutely.
It's you versus you. It's not you versus them.
I'm not in competition with anybody.
Nobody.
Right.
I'm going against myself every single day. Every single day.
That makes you think on our other vitamins why I said that figure out your own lane and own it, because there's no competition there. There's no speed limit there. There's no traffic there. Once you
Say it again.
Figure out your own lane.
Yeah.
Most people are trying to get in someone else's lane.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out, I see she's winning and doing this, so let me do what she's doing.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself the best version of yourself. Whether it's a podcaster, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a DJ, whether it's a business owner.
Yeah.
Because once you make yourself the best version of yourself, and I don't mean the best version, I mean that you're competing and you beat me or something.
Right.
I mean the best version of yourself fully, right?
Yeah.
Once you make yourself the best version of yourself, people will eventually pay you just to be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when people don't think about that, like, I've made a lot of money being myself. I've never wanted to be the next DJ whoever.
Right.
I wanted to be the first big Quicksilva. And then I just worked on my craft and made myself the best version of myself. And I figured out something that made me different than everybody else. And I
Yeah.
figured out my lane.
Yeah.
And now when I say the party kingpin, I'm the party kingpin of what I do.
Yeah.
Nobody can out Quicksilva me.
Yeah.
You might have a favorite DJ or a favorite host or a favorite radio person. That's not me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But he or she can't beat me at being
Right.
me. Never.
Right.
Never.
Wow.
So think about that.
I love that one. I
thank you.
really love that one because it also took me back for a second to middle school Spanish. And my teacher, Senior Williams, if you're listening, shout out to you because he used to tell us, like, if we would try to interject or say something, he would be like, you better stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
Own it. Own it. I'm
And I
telling you.
love that. I love now. I'm gonna remember that it's not stay in your lane. It's own your lane.
Own your lane. Figure out what you're good at, or figure out your purpose. Because I always say passion and purpose are two different things, right? A lot of people are passionate about something, but that's not their purpose. You can be passionate about singing, but your purpose is to be a chef. So a lot of people, they become so overwhelmed with trying to chase what their passion is.
Yeah.
Now, if you get lucky and your passion and purpose align,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you out of this world.
Right.
But a lot of people, passion and purpose aren't the same. If you ask, like I've interviewed some of the biggest celebrities you could think of, right? And I remember like talking to some of them who are whoever they are now.
Yeah.
And they were like, my passion was playing football.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
That was my passion. If you'd asked me from 5 to 13, I'm going to be a football player.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a professional football player. I'm definitely going to the NFL. That was my passion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't my purpose. I remember, I'm not trying to name drop, but I remember interviewing like Jay-Z when I first got into the business. This is 20 plus years ago. And I remember him saying like his he wanted to be something else. And I kept saying like, I couldn't imagine Jay-Z not being Jay-Z. Like,
One of the
Jay-Z,
best rappers
my
of all
favorite rapper
time.
of all time. But a lot of people, their passion wasn't that at first.
Yeah.
And when your purpose is your purpose, if you figure that out and you own it, and back to what I said, make yourself the best at that, it's a no-brainer.
It's a done deal.
Easy
from
work,
there.
as I say, easy work.
So I've been wanting to ask
Of
you
course.
about you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You have a DJ school.
I have multiple.
Correct?
I have one in Baltimore and I have one in D.C.
I mean, how cool is that you have these schools to teach the youth?
Right.
What saved you?
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. A lot of people think it's just for kids, but it's not. I started Quick and Easy DJ.
You have older adults in
So
there?
my youngest student to graduate has been 12. My oldest student to graduate has been 68. Yep.
That's awesome.
So when I first started the program, and like I said, I have an actual school like a brick and mortar. When I first opened, a lot of people thought it was just for kids, and I had to make it very clear, like, this is not for kids. Anybody can learn to DJ.
Yeah.
If you have any rhythm and you can count to 8, I can teach you to DJ.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was a lot of kids. And then I can't remember, I think during the pandemic, when the pandemic happened, a lot of adults were out of work or,
Right.
furloughed. So they were just looking for a hobby or something else
Right.
to do. So around that time, a lot of adults started joining my class.
Mm-hmm.
In the last, I'm going to say at least year, 70% of my students are over the age of 21, like 21
That's
to about
awesome.
50. Like
That's
70%.
awesome.
And I'm going to take a step further. 75% are women. Like the
That's
women
sick.
are taking over, fellas, this DJ
Shout
culture.
out
Shout out
to
to
my
the ladies.
girls
like, the
out
ladies
there.
Are,
Hell yeah.
I still do programs here and there, like especially in DC where it's just the youth. Where I
Yeah.
might do something with the DC government or DC PR where it'd be just a program
Yeah.
for just young people. But the actual school itself, Quick and Easy DJs, all ages, from the age of 12 and up, you can join the class.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What has that meant for you?
It's overwhelming. I really can't even put into words because I think my biggest thing is that It's a 5-week program for the beginner course and another 5-week program for the intermediate course.
Okay.
I think the awarding thing is when I have a person who's never DJed in their life. They've never been behind anything, right?
Yeah.
And then in 5 weeks they get it, right?
Yeah.
In 5 weeks they graduate from the beginner course and they know how to actually DJ and mix 2 records and count BPMs and actually transition. And then when I see them 2-3 months in and they're already gigging, making money. And I'm like, and they're like, I want to say thank you because I didn't know what I wanted to be in life, and now I'm making money, and now I might be a DJ, I think a lot of people don't realize music is therapy.
It is.
It's a healer.
It is.
So I've had people that join my class that were going through something, personally in their lives, or mentally they just weren't okay, and they would graduate, and on graduation they'd be like, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this because this has helped me get through what I was going through in my life, health wise or financial wise, whatever the case may be. So those, you can't put a price tag on thinking that you affected someone's life in the positive.
I mean, I'm still speechless. I don't know how long we've been talking, but I am still just so speechless. Your philanthropy, where you came from growing up to where you are now and impacting and changing lives.
Thank you.
I mean, thinking back to it now, do you think you'd still say, all right, let's ask it this way. Say God was like, all right, you can either go and play the football route or you can have the career path that you've had all this way.
If I was asked that, great question, by the way. Surprisingly, people probably won't believe me when I say this. I would still have picked football.
Really?
Because in my mind, and you have to just, where I come from, I never seen a successful DJ become this worldwide name and making all this. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
But I seen football players that did that. From my neighborhood, rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. His famous line was, "If you from the hood, you only get out if you got a wicked jump shop or you sell crack rock." That's all I saw. So my inspiration wasn't a DJ. My inspiration was watching Bo Jackson on TV or whoever on TV, or it was the drug dealers.
Yeah.
That's who had the money. I didn't grow up in a Silver Spoon neighborhood. I didn't grow up in a blue collar. Right. I grew up really on shady side of Tivoli Avenue in East Baltimore.
Which is now
known as Quicksilva Way. Shout out to Mayor Brandon Scott. On my birthday, he renamed the street Quicksilva Way. But the people that I looked up to were either street guys or athletes.
Yeah.
So I had to pick one.
Yeah.
I didn't have the option in my mind to say there are other things that you can become and be successful. Because that's all I saw.
But let me ask you this: with you saying that it's because of what you saw that football players were able to accomplish and stuff, do you agree that believing is seeing and seeing is in believing?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
If you believe it,
not just about Santa Claus.
Right, no. But it's serious. I mean, the old saying is if you can believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah.
I'm a walking testimony of that.
Absolutely, I would say so.
I believed in myself when no one believed in me. I believed in myself when the world I felt like was against me. I've never allowed outside noise to cloud my vision. I think that's what happens, especially now. I mean, people nowadays are clouded by the stupidest stuff, the internet. I mean, just stuff that's just really not real. It goes away in 24 hours.
Yeah.
But most people, it lingers to them mentally because that 24 hours where somebody's doing this or something you don't like or somebody, now you take it all in.
Right.
And now it lives.
Right.
With me, I'm like, I know it's not real. So let me focus on something that I feel like that can help myself or help others. I believe that, and once again, here's the big caveat to that. What works for me might not work for you.
Right.
So I never want anybody to think that I got it all figured out.
And let me tell you something. That is something I say all the time, almost every episode.
It might work for me.
Is that every person is so different when it
yep.
comes to a healing journey. Like I've said before, person A has Lyme disease, person B has Lyme disease. Person A's journey to healing might be within a year. Person B might be 3 years, 5 years. But they might still get there, but it's not going to be the same journey. So it's exactly that.
Success is different for everybody.
Amen.
And the timeline of success is different for everybody. The problem is most of us, I couldn't elaborate, most people nowadays allow the internet to rush them.
Right.
Because right now, I see you now and you're smiling and you're healthy, right? I see it now.
Yeah.
I didn't see the journey.
Right.
So I didn't see the years, the month that you were not. I didn't see that. Because most people, we don't post that. Some people do, but most people don't post that.
Yeah.
So it looks like overnight you became successful.
Right.
Looks like overnight, quick. I mean, I meet people now who don't know my story. I remember when, shout out to Ben's Chili Bowl in Washington, D.C., they had the Wall of Fame.
Okay.
And a year ago, they put me on the Wall of Fame in D.C.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just for, 20 plus years of, community service in D.C. And I remember, and I don't think he said it like in a bad way. He like, that's crazy. Quicksilva, the Wall of Fame. Man, I just started hearing about him last year or two. And I remember people looking at him like, what? This guy's been out for 30 years. But I say that to say, to some people, all they see is what they see.
Yeah.
So if I don't know, let's say I'm not on social media. I don't listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I don't read magazines. I live in my own world, my own bubble.
Right.
For them people, they think sometimes that their bubble is the world.
Is it?
Right.
Yeah.
So then when a person like yourself or myself or anybody that's listening or watching, when the success happens, they only seen the last 3 to 4 months.
Right.
Kevin Hart has the best quote ever. He says it takes about 18 years to become an overnight success. Because most people who become successful,
not the truth.
They've been working their tail off for decades. And then one day that moment happens.
I mean,
and then that moment happens, and then you look like this is your first big film or your first big episode of your podcast.
Right.
And then, but someone who just their first time watching your podcast, they didn't see the other 5 or 10 episodes.
Exactly.
So this is your first one to them.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God, how'd she get Quicksilva on her first podcast?
I'm still asking myself.
But that's somebody who's going to say that.
Right.
But but this isn't your first episode.
Yeah.
And the point I'm making is that a lot of people, they don't go back and watch the past episodes.
Right.
They go watch what's popular.
Right.
So this is the one that trends or goes viral. This is your first to the rest of the world.
Right.
So a lot of people, they allow that to now they start a podcast and they don't get that moment for their first one, not knowing that this might be your 100th one.
Exactly.
And that's why I say about allowing the internet to rush you is that everybody's success time is different. And if you focus on yourself, back to what I said earlier, and make yourself the best version, it's going to happen. Exactly. I can't tell you when.
Right.
Because your win and my win are different. That doesn't make me or you better than each other.
Absolutely. And I love that. And so funny you say it because I really swallowed that vitamin.
Thank you.
Recently. I heard it in a podcast I was listening to where I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was speaking at an event and he's now well known and speaking at certain events, and this kid came up to him and said, "Man, I want to do what you do. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna speak
Become
around
a
the
millionaire
world
tomorrow."
Yeah, and I'm gonna be asked to speak on the biggest stages." And he turned to him and he goes, "Yeah, but are you willing to do what I've done?" And that was something that I actually just posted the other day, is that, people might think what I'm doing is cool and easy and how I got here and stuff. And yeah, it's great. And I'm grateful for where I am and I'm blessed. But are you willing to go through what I went through to have my testament and my testimony and my story to be where I am today?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Most people are not, because once again, we live in a microwave generation now where I want it instantly.
Yeah.
And not just instantly, I want a moment. People live for moments and not actual real motion. So because I'm looking for the moment doesn't stick. you have to have some substance behind that moment.
Right.
And you have to have a plan. One of my other vitamins that I didn't make up, but I've said this tons of times, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail.
Yep.
Most people want to be successful, but you ask them, what's your plan? What's your business plan? What's your fitness plan? Like,
Yeah.
what's your plan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want abs. Okay, but what's your plan? Are you eating right?
Right.
Are you sleeping right? Are you like, but I want them but they don't understand the consistency and the sacrifice it takes to
Yes.
really become successful. I don't
Yes.
mean to have a viral moment for
Right.
24 hours. To really become successful and stay at the top of your game for 5 years, 10 years, 20
Yeah.
years, 30 years.
Yeah.
Most people, that's why if you look at the music industry, most people get hot and they're done in a year.
Yeah.
I think of half the DJs.
The one-hit wonders
I think
and
of half
stuff.
the DJs that I started DJing with in DC 20, 30 years ago that don't even DJ anymore.
Yeah.
They because once again, when times got rough, they gave up. They didn't change with the time. There's so many reasons why it didn't work. But once again, I always say it's not easy to become hot or to become relevant and stay there for
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah.
That takes a level of consistency and a level of sacrifice that most people just don't have it in them.
Right.
They want it, but they don't have it in them.
Right. And it's another thing that takes me to another podcast I was listening to, Jen Gottlieb. She's a speaker, and she says something that I tell myself every day is stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20.
I tell my DJs that when I mentor them. I mentor a lot of DJs, not just DJs, just young people
Yeah.
in general, right? And, a lot of people, like I said, they see my success now. They see things that I've done and things that I've acquired.
Yeah.
And, I remember talking to a young fella in Southeast DC maybe about a month ago. And he was just talking about, how blessed I am. And, he used the word luck. He said, man, you lucky because, man, not once again, he has no idea my backstory.
Right.
He's like, man, you so lucky, man. You came up and look at you now. You're rich and you're famous, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, me lucky? So then in 20 seconds, I ran down just all I've been through.
Yeah.
And this is his answer. Damn, I ain't know that. And I said, exactly. I'm not like
It's not luck.
Trust me, I've been through enough things that I should have threw in the towel a long time ago.
Right.
Most people, if you've been through a tenth of the things I've been through, you'll be like, nah, this too much. This ain't
Yeah.
for me. I can't
Yeah.
deal with all this.
Yeah.
Because success and real success, it almost looks like insanity to do something. You're a fitness person, and shout out to my trainer Serge. We always used to say that like most people want the results, but they don't want the work. Mm-hmm. Like the results are pretty.
Yeah.
The results are
The
rewarding.
results are great, but you'd catch when I was sweating
but not
over
just
there.
sweating,
like-
but the discipline that I have. That when I'm in a nightclub world, your discipline is that at 3 a.m. when you're drunk and fried, you're hungry, you're gonna go stop at the fast food spot.
Yeah.
I'm just as hungry. I'm just disciplined enough to know not to do that.
Not to do it.
I know that
Exactly.
now I'm hungry and I might get me a rice cake with peanut butter. You're not going to do
Sounds
that.
pretty good right now. I'm not
You're-
gonna
right,
lie.
but
With
you-
some banana on top.
Exactly. That's the point I'm making. But now
Right.
a lot of people like that takes too long to make.
Right.
I don't feel like that. I want to go the quick route.
Yeah.
So that's what people mean by you have to really sacrifice things. You have to sacrifice sometimes the now for the later.
You know what just came to my mind? It's funny that your name, Quicksilva,
Mm-hmm.
Quick, but you actually really resonate with the slow process. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know why that just hit me, and I'm like, his name might be Quicksilva, but like,
right.
he really enjoys and appreciates the slow path.
I think because as much as I love to win, I'm very competitive, right? I don't know how to be second. I only know how to win. I only know how to be number one.
That's
anything
awesome.
I do, right?
That's awesome.
Now, here's the thing. The reason why I'm that way is because I give myself time to become number one.
Okay.
And I say it to say is that like a lot of people want to be the top dog or the top whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they don't really want to put the time into it because
Right.
they don't enjoy the process.
Right.
You have to enjoy the process as much as you enjoy the prize. Most people love the prize. I love the celebration. I love the congratulations. When I do something good and my comments are going crazy and I got all the I love that. But you're not in love with the process. I love the grind. I love the hustle.
I agree. I
love
feel
it.
like it's more of that. I get more of a satisfaction.
Right. I love
because
the
you
hustle.
really feel like you've achieved and you're deserving of that congratulations, of that round of applause, of that award.
And I think another thing with me, I never get comfortable.
Yeah.
I love the process. I love the payoff. But then I'm always like, what's next?
Yeah.
That's me.
That's
next?
something that when I first, went on my self-reflection journey and stuff, was I learned to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It's a whole nother vitamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you can use that on your shows.
You got it. I'll shout you out. I'll give you your publishing credits.
My little shout out there. What an amazing story. What an amazing testimony.
I appreciate you for having me.
And I love the motivation that you give, and you are doing an incredible job inspiring others, inspiring me every day. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate you, man. I got to shout out the cat at the park because I remember this is how
It is because of Cat.
Cat, if you watch that kitty cat, I'm gonna see you Friday at park.
Hi, Cat.
But Cat's the queen. I love her, right? And certain people, when they come to the park, I know there's someone special. Because Cat has sent me that little text, like, all right, I got some special people in. Make sure show them some love. So when you came, it was you and Greg, right?
Me and my friend George.
George,
yeah.
Right. When you
Shout out George.
What up, George? They partied that night, by the way. Today they was partying and dancing.
It was fun.
But when y'all came, she sent me a text like, I got my girl and George. Make sure you show them some love. I got you. And then when I met her, she waited. She like. Shout out.
And when you shouted us out on the mic in the club,
that's a big thing in the club. Shout out.
Oh my gosh, I made it. Like, I'll even send y'all the video. Like, I'm like, I made it. He just shouted us out.
No, that was love. So shout out to Cass, my baby.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming on here. Guys, seriously, you are so lucky if you got a catch of this episode, because you got a whole bottle of vitamins.
I got plenty more to give. Plenty more.
I mean, follow DJ Quicksilva on his Instagram. He posts
Twitter,
Instagram, Twitter, you
name
it.
DJ
Look out
Quicksilva.
for the documentary coming out. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah.
I have one last question for you.
Anything. You could.
And this is your initiation into the True Crew officially.
I like this.
You ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Wow. If I could have one superpower, what would it be?
Yes, sir.
I would probably say, man, this is a good question. I'm going to have to ask this question on my radio show.
Shout me out.
She want all the shout out. She want to shout out everything. Shout me out in the club. Shout me out on the radio. Shout me out on Instagram. Just shout me out.
You know what just had me on.
If I could have one superpower, that's a really good question. I've never thought about this.
Really?
Never.
Come on.
I would probably I don't know if this is shallow. I mean, I have a shallow one, but then I have to really think about the serious one.
Okay.
The shallow one would be to fly.
That's mine.
Really?
Damn, you called me
Oh
shallow.
no, sorry. I didn't mean that. But my reasoning is shallow. My reasoning is shallow. I'm very impatient.
Oh.
I'm very impatient. I like things done when I want them done.
Yeah.
And I'm very anal about like being punctual and being on time. Even when I was running 5 minutes, I had to tell you like I apologize.
I know it gives me anxiety too.
So I hate traffic. I hate driving. I love to do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it. So if I wake up right now and decide I want to, I feel like going to Jamaica for some jerk chicken, I would love to be able to say, all right, And just fly there and be there an
go.
hour. Like, I would love to fly.
Yeah.
So that is that. But the other one, I have to really think about it. I don't know. I think it would be just to maybe, I don't know if I want to see the future or if I could avoid something. I don't know.
All right.
I honestly don't know. I don't have an answer.
I'll take
I don't
the
know.
fly
so I'll
answer.
take the fly, and I apologize for calling you shallow.
No,
That's not
I was joking. I was joking.
Yeah.
Well, welcome
Thank you.
officially
Keep
to
up
the
great
True
work.
Crew.
Keep up the great work. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Doing a great
Thank
job.
you.
Mhm.
You don't know what that means coming from you, so
It's not
thank
easy.
you.
It's not easy, but it's possible. Like I told, when we first started, if you do anything long enough, you can become great at it. Anything. I don't care what it is,
Amen.
whether it's podcasting or anything. But you just have to give yourself grace and give yourself time. Once again, I hate to keep saying the same thing. We have to all stop allowing the internet to rush us.
Yep.
Your time frame is your time frame. Your path is your path.
Yep.
Your testimony is your testimony. It's not mine. It's yours.
Right.
Worry about that.
Yeah.
Focus on that. And like another thing I said earlier, if you focus fully, and like I said, most people they're not fully focused. They're focused when it's convenient.
Right.
If you fully focus on anything for 30 or 60, anything, you'll see a difference.
Yeah.
But you have to fully commit. Fully commit means 24/7, 365. Not I'm gonna do it for 3 days and take off for 2.
Exactly.
Now you gotta start all over again.
Yeah.
So,
Then you start back at
day
point.
one. As
Day one.
As my trainer always said, once I got surge, he was like, getting in shape is hard. It's not easy. Like to really get in shape and get your abs and get your body how you want it, it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
Losing it is easy.
True.
You can work out every day for a
True.
year and get fit. And then for 30 days, go eat fast food every day and no
It's
sleep.
gone
and
in
just
a
like
blink of an eye, man.
That whole year is down the tube in 30 days.
Yeah.
Yep, so.
Amen. Guys, what an absolute treat, what an absolute honor. Thank you so much again. Guys, make sure to stay tuned to the True Talk podcast. Make sure you're following along YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And check out the show notes in the description. Go follow Quick on Instagram, Twitter, all platforms. And yeah, thanks for all the love and thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the True Talk podcast. Make sure to follow and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and stay tuned for more to come.